Every great creative work stands on the shoulders of giants. Welcome to RetroInspection, where we examine and find out where the things we love today came from.
However, the French took this idea and because their peasantry was feeling a famine and disease and really just horrible, even more horrible living conditions than the Americans were living at the time. Their peasantry sought out an entirely new governance.
Yeah. Their nobility was not across an ocean. Their nobility was right there in their face like rats.
Right. So when they're in the streets scrambling to eat, uh, and bread is their main staple, and they have none,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that the nobility eats quite well, and their storehouses are stocked, that foments a rage in the people. One of the, I would say, probably the leader of the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre, he seized upon this anger and he led a probably the most bloody revolution this side of the Russian Revolution. Maybe even worse. I'm not sure.
I mean, we got to look at some. I'm not would not be sure about those numbers given some of the things. I mean, hell, Cambodia might have ended up with more people dead.
Well, I said this side of the Russian Revolution.
Okay.
So the idea is the same. The violent and bloody overthrow of their leadership. But it wasn't just the leadership. It wasn't just the king and the queen. It wasn't just Marie Antoinette. It was all of the nobility underneath them eventually found their way to what is it? What do they call him? Dr. Guillotine or Monsieur Guillotine?
Yeah.
Yeah, Madame Guillotine, which was ironically created by a doctor who whose goal was to create a humane way of execution.
All he really, yeah, and I mean, maybe comparatively it is, as long as the blade's sharp. But really, what he essentially did was mechanize it. He assembly lined execution in a way that you couldn't with a rope.
Right. And so eventually, all this nobility, not all of it, because many fled.
Yeah.
That was, the king and queen of France tried to flee to Austria. So many of the nobility did that kind of a thing. They didn't want to end up in a with their head in a basket, essentially. Um, but a great many did not. And what started out as really, an egalitarian idea, what is it? Liberty, equality, and fraternity, right? Ended up being only equal in how many people and whoever were killed. Eventually, it wasn't just the nobles that were killed; it was the leaders of the revolution. Robespierre, I think, was maybe even the last of the victims of his own revolution. And it wasn't until Napoleon came around that the revolution truly ended, I believe. But
which is late 90s.
Yeah, but the French Revolution, it was a wave that was constantly reflected in Europe for quite a long time. And if I were in Hungary and I was a noble, I was of the aristocracy, and I got a whiff of a peasant revolt, I think I probably would flee as well. So I don't blame the Orczys for fleeing. But what this did is it left a mark on them and the Baroness.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, and we think of this as an instance, I suppose, of write what you know.
Like, subscribe, repost, share everywhere. To see what else we're up to, visit xynobooks.com, xenobooks.com.